Hello everyone, how are you today? I hope everyone's all good and healthy. Anyway, in this video I'm going to introduce you to an open source application called Gimp. What does Gimp can do? Basically, Gimp is used for photo manipulation. We can also create an original artwork creation and also graphic design elements. As soon as you check out the web page, and you can also check out the tutorials, but most important thing is go to the download and download it directly and install it on your computer so we can learn this program together. Now I assume that you guys already download your software and install them in your computer. So now if you go and open the program, so we can go right into it. As you can see, I'm using an Apple computer, but don't you worry, since Gimp is a multi-platforms open source program, so I'm sure that it will be the same interface across all platforms. And here we are. This is our Gimp window, and I'm going to make it full screen so we can focus on what we are going to do with this software. And first of all, before we get into any of these tools, we're going to File, and we're going to create a new file and go to Template, and we're going to select A4 so it's easier for us to work with. And as you can see, we can also change the measurement. I'm going to leave it as it is and click OK, and there we have our blank canvas right here. And so now we're going to go with the tools. On the left hand side, on the top, we have our toolbox. Here we have several different tools that we can use. You can play around with it later on. We can also have text to add text. As you can see, whatever we type in, it's going to go over on this text, but I'm not going to use it yet. So anyway, we can go and try. You can try each of the tools, and as probably you also notice, there's changes on below tab here. This is our tools properties. So each time you choose a tool, it's going to change accordingly to whatever tools that you select. And we also have another tab, I'll get into it later on, and this is one of the important tab. It's the history tab, so we can go and undo whatever that we do, so we don't have to be too worried of making mistakes. And above this, there is this black and white box. This is our foreground and background, and as you can see, once I click it, it shows this window, so we can select whatever color that we desire for our tool to color. And I just have to give you a head start about this, that for the color on the back, it's called the background color, and the front is called the foreground color, and these both acts differently. If you're going to use paint bucket tool. This is paint bucket tool, and go to here. It's going to color your selection. It's going to color your selection with the background color. If you use pencil, it's going to use your foreground color, also with the paintbrush. So that's the tools window, and on the right here we have brushes selections, so we can select our brushes. If you use paintbrush for your tool and you select, I'm going to select the start, and you're gonna give another selection here. Use the paintbrush tool, and we have a brush that looks like a star. And even if we choose a different kind, it's gonna select our new brush for us. So that's the brush tab, and on its right we have texture. We'll get into it later on. Also we have fonts, so we can choose whatever fonts that we're going to use for our text layer, and this is for the document history. There you go. And below that is also one of the most important windows over here, and we're also going to get into this later on, but as you can see we have channel tab, path, and we'll get it in detail in other videos. So now that we already have this brief, another thing is I want to remind you that if you paint on the canvas that is not selected, you won't be able to paint them like this. I actually click it from outside the box across it, and the ones that not selected is not going to be painted. So yeah, and once we're finished with our work, we go to file, and then we can save it, save as. So in case you haven't finished with your work and you want to continue it later on, you can go to save, and it will give you this window. You can rename them, actually like this, rename Gimp test 1, test 1 on my desktop, and just save it. Just leave it as it is, and then you can open it later on and continue with it. But if you finish with your work and you want to post it online or wherever that consider it finished, you can go to export as, and it will give you this window. This is also where you want to put it, and then I usually select file type, and I prefer to save it on JPEG image. As you can see, the extension changes to JPEG, and then we can go export, and you'll find it on your desktop, your image is finished, your finished image. So yeah, we have to wait a little bit for it to export the file. And there we go, we have this window, and then click export, and here's the process of our exporting file, and it's done. So you can find it on your desktop. I guess that's it for our introduction. I'm sure you can try each tools and see what does it do, and maybe you can talk about it on the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys later.